This fucking guy and raw numbers. Listen, I get you can't comprehend why people use per capita. We're going to show you the raw numbers, okay? This is going to be a very involved video. So pop yourself some popcorn because we're going to go ahead and look at the fucking raw numbers for you. But the per capita numbers are still the numbers you want to look at. You're not going to like the raw numbers either. But the per capita, once again, tells you how likely something is to happen. So we're going to take a look at the per capita real quick, and then we're going to go look at the raw numbers. And we're going to get deep into some of these raw numbers. Okay, once again, to overview, firearm death rate. The top 5 states with the lowest per capita gun death rate, all blue. The top 10 states with the highest per capita gun death rate, 9 out of the 10 are red. Only New Mexico's blue. Now let's get into those numbers you wanted. The list on the left goes from the state with the highest per capita gun death rate down to the lowest. So that's why they're in order. That's how they're in order on the left. The next number is the per capita death rate, and the number on the far right is the raw number, the number that you like so much. Right? You see Alaska, raw number 177. Alabama, raw number 1,046. Louisiana, raw number 987. Mississippi, 587. You see the raw numbers there, okay? Now let's do some comparison. Chicago, the place that you guys say is a shithole because you use the raw number, had 561 homicides in that same year. Hang on a second. This website pulled up 2018 numbers, as you can see on the top right. So I went and looked for the 2018 numbers to compare it so that we were comparing apples to apples. Once again, the 2018 numbers, 561 homicides. Per your logic, per the logic that you guys put forward, that raw number for that city makes it a war zone. It's uninhabitable. It's a fucking shithole. You can't step off the airplane without getting shot. Right? 561. Population of Chicago is 2.697, 2.7 million people, just under 3 million people, okay? 561 gun deaths, 2.7 million people. You go back to the raw number sheet that you like to use, and you got to find states that have comparable gun death numbers, raw numbers, right? Because that's what we were talking about. We were talking about red states versus the city of Chicago in these last several videos. So, at 561 in Chicago, you see Mississippi has 587, Arkansas has 541. The rest of them are either way lower or way higher. So, let's look at these two that have comparable raw numbers that are so evil. Mississippi, 2.95 million. Same population, higher gun death, raw number. So is Mississippi a war zone? Is Mississippi a shithole? Arkansas, 3.02, just a couple of 100,000 more. Yet they have a higher gun death rate than the city of Chicago. Is Arkansas a war zone? No, it's not. And you know it's not. Similar populations, similar raw numbers, which is what you want to use. Now let's look at some of these with higher numbers. Oklahoma, 766, a couple of hundred gun deaths more than Chicago. Kentucky, a couple of hundred deaths more. Montana, nearly 2,000. What are the populations here? So we're using raw numbers and comparing them to the shithole war zone that is Chicago, right? Okay, Oklahoma's got about 1 million more people, and they have a couple of hundred more gun deaths. Maybe that comes out in the wash. Same with Kentucky, right? About 1.5 million more people-ish, roughly. They got a couple hundred more gun deaths. Maybe that comes out in the wash. Montana. Wait a minute. Are you saying that Montana has almost 2 million fewer people? Yet they have 1,500 more murders? 1,500? Remember, the raw number for Montana is 1,994. While they're sitting there with a population of 1.1 million. Jesus. Per your mentality, people can't live in Montana. Can't even drive through that state without getting shot. Right? You're the one that wanted to use the raw numbers when we were comparing the gun death rates of states with lax gun laws to the city of Chicago and its evil gun control regulations over the years. Guess you didn't like those raw numbers, huh? Or the per capita death numbers. Give me a fucking break, would you?